Take a look at Greg Jarrett this morning. He went on. Take a look at Andrew McCarthy or Jonathan Turley or Mark Levin. It's like they say there's no case here.
An angry and confused failed former President Donald Trump yelling the names of his friends as he entered court yesterday, the continuing saga of the Trump trial that turns into a sandbox tantrum for a toddler. Effectively speaking, Trump asked, "Are you going to testify?" And Trump now says he isn't allowed to talk about whether he's going to testify because of the gag order. Now, understand how many layers absurd this is. We have like 3 layers of absurdity deep. Let me play the clip first, and then I'll tell you how ridiculous this gag order stuff is getting.
Mr. Trump, is Michael Cohen a liar? Are you going to testify?
I have a gag order as to that first question. As you know, they've taken away my constitutional rights, so I'm not allowed to answer that question. This has never happened in this country before.
And it's not happening now. Trump says he's under a gag order, or a gag order, as he likes to say, and that because of the gag order, he can't say whether he will testify. That is a lie. Let me think here. Last Thursday, Donald Trump said that the gag order prevents him from testifying. That is untrue. On Friday, when he was asked about it, Trump said, no, the gag order does not prevent me from testifying. Monday, Trump is asked, will you testify? And he says, the gag order prevents me from telling you whether I am going to testify. None of this is true. And Trump appears more and more confused by the day, even about just the basics of how the trial is even working. He's angry about the duration of the trial. He's angry about the gag order. He's angry that the judge is able to impose restrictions on when Trump is supposed to be in court and when Trump can opt not to be in court. And then the sort of height of this, by the way, now, I guess to keep Trump awake, they're giving him papers that he can shuffle through. And the papers are articles from his friends talking about how he's being treated so unfairly. Trump does indeed, as he is arriving at court, just yell the names of his friends who say that this is all very, very unfair.
Mr. Trump, is Michael Cohen a liar? Are you going to testify?
I have a gag order as to that first question. As you know, they've taken away my constitutional rights, so I'm not allowed to answer that question. This has never happened in this country before. It's a ridiculous thing. It's a ridiculous case. I did nothing wrong, absolutely nothing wrong. Take a look at Greg Jarrett this morning. He went on. Take a look at Andrew McCarthy or Jonathan Turley or Mark Levin. It's like they say there's no case here. And yet the judge has gagged me, and I'm not allowed to talk about, I guess, his total conflict. The judge is totally conflicted, and you ought to take a look at it. And I'm not supposed to be talking about it. But I am allowed to say that the judge has a conflict that like nobody's ever had before. You ought to take a look at it. He's taken away my constitutional right to speak.
All right, so none of this is true. Trump's limited gag orders do not violate constitutional rights. They are not violations of the First Amendment. The fact that Trump's friends like Jonathan Turley and Greg Jarrett are saying this is all very unfair doesn't really mean too much in the legal world. And Trump keeps saying he's reading articles about the trial, but the only people he mentions are legal analysts on Fox News. There are plenty of people writing articles about the trial. They sing a very different tune than what Fox News legal analysts are singing. Trump complaining about the fact that there are witnesses that he doesn't like. There are witnesses he just doesn't feel should be part of the trial.
Absolutely no case. It's a political hoax. It's election interference. Anything they can do. And even the witnesses they want to bring up, they have nothing to do with the case. This is a ridiculous situation. Not fair, but we will fight. Thank you.
All right. And of course, if there are truly witnesses that would be inappropriate to include in this trial, there are legal processes, and Trump's defense lawyers can say, we object to this witness. We would like to block this witness from testifying. That is something that they are able to do. And then lastly, here is Trump again referring to his printed paperwork, the papers that they give him to try to keep him awake during trial. It does not seem to be working.
Just came out, Columbia just canceled their commencement. Axios.
He has articles printed from the internet. Classic.
Columbia just canceled their commencement. That shouldn't happen. And it also came came out that the protesters, many of the protesters, are backed by Biden's donors. Okay, are you listening, Israel? I hope you're listening, Israel.
So Trump just reading off the headlines for articles. By the way, that Politico article about the protesters being backed by Biden's donors, widely discredited. Politico had to put out a correction. That's like a 2-paragraph correction. They had to correct like 8 or 9 different things. It's one of the craziest corrections I've seen, but that's an aside. Trump just walking around with articles, yelling the headlines of the articles at the reporters. These are wild times we live in. Let's hope that at the conclusion, justice will have been done. Let's hear from a sponsor or two, and we'll be right back. Health is never one size fits all, which is why I'm so glad to tell you about our sponsor, Wild Health, which takes a proactive and preventative approach to healthcare called precision medicine. They use your genetics, biometrics, and lifestyle data to help you figure out what does your specific body need for nutrition, exercise, sleep, supplements, and more, with the goal being just function at your best now and in the long run. And if you're struggling with stress or your cortisol level, which is the primary stress hormone, maybe that's elevated. 50% of all Wild Health patients have seen cortisol levels improve. 68% of patients with an elevated ApoB, which is the primary protein linked to a high risk of heart disease. I just got all these numbers run myself because I'm taking heart health very seriously right now. 68% of those who have elevated ApoB show improvement after joining Wild Health. I love what Wild Health is doing. I can see everything in one place on my health report. It's given me actionable insights. They do a great job of just helping me understand, what do my results mean? What improvements can I make? And my audience gets 20% off the cost of membership. Go to wildhealth.com/Pacman and use the code Pacman at checkout. Make a commitment to yourself to taking control of your health today. The link is down below.